Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are discussing first canto, 10th chapter, text number 26 onwards. Last time we did 25.
Online.
25 हो गया ना? 25 तक हो गया. So today we'll start with 26 to 31. So we'll start with 26. Let's see how long we go. So this is a chapter where Krishna is departing for Dwarka. And first we discussed first 6 verses, the kingdom of Maharaj Yudhishthir, then how Krishna's influence is very attractive. And then 15 to 19, we spoke in great detail how Krishna was appropriately honored by the different devotees. And now 20 to 31, these 12 verses are extremely special, where the ladies of Hastinapur are glorifying Krishnas. And there we completed 6 verses. So now we are 26 to 31. Today we'll take only 26 because we have a long purport, and I wrote an essay on this theme. So I want to share what I wrote. So we'll discuss on this theme. So let's stand the verse and then read the translation and purport and then discuss. Okay, please repeat after me. Aho alam shlag yatamam yado kulam. Aho alam punyatamam madhurvanam. Yadesha punsam rishabha shriyapati. Swajanmana chankramane chanchati. Maybe we can read together. Translation. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess Perpetuity, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So if you see in this translation verse, they are glorifying Mathura. They are glorifying, oh, now he's going to Dwarka. So they are so fortunate, Mathura, Dwarka, Vasis. So let's see the purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of, please read together. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, has expressively given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. The Lord appears in a particular family or place with inconceivable potency. He does not take his birth as a conditioned soul does, quitting one body and accepting another body. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun rises in the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is the parent of the sun. The sun has existed in every part of the universe, but it becomes visible at a scheduled time and so also becomes invisible at another scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in the universe like the sun and again leaves our sight at another time. He exists at all times and at every place, but by His causeless mercy, when He appears before us, we take it for granted that He has taken His birth. Anyone who can understand this slogan in terms of the statements of revealed scripture certainly becomes liberated just after quitting the present body. Many words and after great and regular patience and perseverance in knowledge and illustration. But simply by knowing in truth about the Lord's transcendental births and activities, one can get liberation at once. That is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in the darkness of ignorance conclude that the Lord's birth and activities in the material world are similar to those of the ordinary living being. Such imperfect conclusions cannot give anyone liberation. His birth, therefore, in the family of King Yadu, the son of King Vasudeva, and his transfer to the family of Nandamala in the land of Mathura, are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. The fortunes of the Yadu dynasty and that of the inhabitants of the land of Mathura cannot be materially estimated. If simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the birth and activities of the Lord, one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoy the company of the Lord in person as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who are fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly obtain something more than what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. This is a very, very common theme which Prabhupada says. If you know Krishna, then you are liberated. So many times we use this sentence very casually. Prabhupada says, oh, Krishna's birth and activities, if you know it, then you are liberated. Now all of you know Krishna's birth and activities. So if you simply know that Krishna, the beginning of the purport says, if you simply know that sun doesn't take birth, he appears on the eastern horizon. Simply, if you similarly know that Krishna doesn't take birth, then you are liberated. अभी आपने बोला मैं समझ गया. So does that mean I've become pure devotee? So what is that knowing? Today we'll spend some time on trying to understand what does it mean to know Krishna. So the theme here is what does it mean to know Krishna? Because it is very casually, many times nonchalantly Prabhupada says, simply if you know Krishna, your life is perfect. You'll be happy if you know Krishna. And you'll say, I know Prabhuji, I've memorized so many shlokas. And I've heard so many classes that Krishna is God. I know Krishna is God. No, there is a caveat here. When we say I know Krishna, there is something else that has to be there. And that is included in knowing Krishna. That I want to clarify today. Only then we know Krishna. Is that okay? So what is it? So 4.9 Bhagavad Gita, those who have read first 9 verses are extremely important. It's transcendental knowledge about Krishna. There Krishna speaks about Yada Yada Dharmasya, all those famous verses. Finally, that section ends with Krishna saying, if you know that my birth and activities are transcendental, evam yogati tattvataha tektva deham punarjanma naiti, you will not take birth again and will come back to me. So now I know scriptures, I've studied this, so I have a PhD also, I know Krishna. But does that mean I am now not going to take birth again? What do you think? What does that mean, knowing Krishna? There is a nuance here. It's not knowing Krishna does not mean, okay, I know everything. Can you understand what it means? Can you share what that means, knowing Krishna? Because in the 7th chapter, 19th verse, Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanaman mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvam iti samaatma sudurlabha. That one is actually, this verse makes it very clear that if you actually know Krishna, it's not simply knowing Krishna. When you know Krishna name, form, pastimes, it has to lead to loving engagement. So if there is loving engagement in service, then you know Krishna.
Knowing him as Bhagwan feature.
Knowing him as Bhagwan feature and having a loving engagement of service to that Bhagwan feature is knowing. Till then it is not knowing. Till then it is informational. Are you getting it? Like it is like, if you know about Krishna, it's like reading a menu card in Govinda's. But reading the menu is not same as tasting the food. तो सब नॉलेज है, इन्फॉर्मेशन सब पढ़ लिया आपने, क्या क्या है, अच्छा पिज्जा मिलता है, ये मिलता है, चॉकलेट आइसक्रीम मिलता है, सब मिलता है. So when you taste the food, yesterday only I was hearing Prabhupada's class. This is September 1975, Vrindavan. So Prabhupada saying, so you want to see Krishna? What is this seeing Krishna? What will you get by seeing Krishna? You see the mango here? You are seeing mango. What is the use of seeing mango? Seeing mango means tasting mango. When somebody says, let me see the mango, what he will understand? But if he experiences the mango, then he knows the mango. Prabhupada says, similarly, when we say, I want to see God, what is that? Seeing God means experiencing God. Are you tasting the holy names of Krishna? So real knowing means basically it has to be intimate and it has to be personal. Because in the 10th chapter, 10th and 11th verse, Krishna says, those who engage in devotional service, Tesham bhajata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam, prem se jo seva kar raha hai, dadami buddhi yogam, I give him knowledge. So we know Krishna when we serve Krishna. And then Krishna in the next verse says, those who engage in such service, Tesham evam kampartam aham ajnana jam tama, I remove the ignorance from their heart if they engage in devotional service. How? Nashayamatma bhavasto jnana deepen apasvata. I light the lamp of knowledge in their heart. So it is loving engagement which makes it knowing. Till then, it is informational. But love is transformational. So knowledge has to be transformational. So when knowledge is added with love, then it becomes transformation. What does knowledge do? Knowledge informs you. but love transforms you. So Bhagavad Gita, if somebody is studying and it is not transformed, that means he's not knowing Bhagavad Gita. Knowing and inform and transform are two different things. So knowledge can inform, but love can transform. So you know Bhagavad Gita, then you should plus love. Love comes through service. The knowledge plus love is information plus love becomes transformation. Because a scholar knows about Krishna. There are so many scholars who know more about Bhagavad Gita than we know. But if that knowledge is not melting into humility, gratitude, and service, then it doesn't deliver us. It doesn't remove us out of the cycle of birth and death. Bhakti is not dry philosophy. It's a loving relationship. So there has to be emotional, devotional, and practical. Sab hona chahiye. So it is our aspiration that leads to. So we may say right now, do I know? Do I love Krishna? Okay, at least you have an aspiration to love Krishna. That will ensure you don't take birth again. See, we chant, we read, we serve. Why do we do that? Why are we coming to ISKCON? Like, Jayanand has come from Pune just for this class. वो छुट्टी हो गया तो आ गया. वो पुणे में पढ़ाई कर रहा है. उसका हो गया engineering. So, why has he come here? Just to hear the class? No, तो online भी मिल जाएगा. But the ease part is doing devotional service, hearing, chanting, serving. So we do all of this not simply to know about Krishna, but to develop some loving connection with Krishna. And Krishna, because he's personal, he reciprocates. See, Krishna reciprocates with love much, much more than he reciprocates with knowledge. So yes, Krishna is equating knowing with loving. So wherever you hear in Bhagavad Gita, if you know me, you are happy. That means knowing means loving. Because love is the highest form of knowledge. So to know Krishna means to love him in truth. Whenever Krishna says, you want to know me in truth, what he's saying is you love me in truth. Means basically love Krishna in truth means serving Krishna with affection. I'll repeat. Loving Krishna means serving Krishna with affection and to live for Krishna. Just say you are living for your children, for your spouse. When we live for Krishna, when we serve with affection, that will ensure we don't take birth again. So there are knowing. So when I say I know Krishna, it is like, one devotee said, "Arey, Sharma ji donation dene wale hain. Sharma ji ko jante hain?" So I saw in front of me 3 brahmacharis. They revealed to me 3 levels of knowing Krishna. One fellow said, Sharma ji, I know him. अरे वही ना, वो तोंद है, उनका बड़ा मुस्टैच है, टकले, वही ना, शर्मा जी, I know him. वो टकले वाले वो मैं समझ गया वही. So he's knowing of Sharma ji is मोटा है, टकला है, मूछ है. So that's casual knowledge. So I know Sharma ji is very casual. So the another brahmachari said, अरे शर्मा जी, अरे मेरे साथ लॉ कॉलेज में थे वो, मैं घर पे गया हूँ एक बार उनके. There is some personal familiarity. So that person also knows Sharma ji. So the second person, when he says, I know Sharma, that is more than the first person. So when Krishna says, you should know me, it is not about the first knowing. It is also not about the second knowing. It is about the third. Third brahmachari said, Prabhu, I know him too well. मेरे खास है वो. अच्छा, तो तीनों ने बोला they know Sharma, but first fellow knows Sharma only as मोटा आदमी with मूछ. Second person knows him because थोड़ा एक बार घर पे गया है, प्रसाद खाया है. तीसरा knows him too well. Means basically was hinting at an intimate, nuanced, shared some experience. So all 3 claim to know Mr. Sharma, but actually only one person truly knows him. So there is casual knowledge, there is personal familiarity, and there is intimate experience. So whenever Krishna says, one who knows me will never take birth again. You can't say, मैंने याद कर लिया श्लोका, मैं भी हो गया, मेरा उद्धार हो गया. नहीं, intimate experience है क्या? Connection है क्या? So we must know. So when we say, whenever we hear, we should know Krishna, we should ask, okay, what is this knowing? Theoretical information knowledge Like a scholar knows all facts about Krishna from the books, from lectures. So knowing about someone, that is one level of knowing. Second level of knowing is personal experience, like a sincere practitioner, he's doing sadhana, he's coming to temple, he starts beginning to feel Krishna's presence. I prayed so intensely and Krishna helped me pass the exam. So knowing Krishna, but with some relationship, that is second level. Third is first theoretical or informational knowledge. Second is personal experience. Third is loving relationship. Like a devotee who fully surrenders, like whose heart is transformed, whose aspirations are changed, who is living for Krishna, who is having affection in the heart, who is serving. That knowing is knowing through love, devotion, some connection, emotional connection. Okay, simple example. Virat Kohli. Do you know Virat Kohli? या इंस्टाग्राम उसका देखो, रील्स देखो, वो अच्छा पेमान बाबा के पास गया 1 साल में 3 बार, तो सोशल मीडिया अपडेट्स देखो, तो somebody knows Virat Kohli, that is what? Informational. So Shreyas Iyer, Rohit Sharma, they say और कौन? सूर्य कुमार यादव, बुमराह, सब उनके जो टीममेट्स है, they say we know his strengths, we know his mood, we know his character. So first level is informational. So you know Virat Kohli, that is informational. His colleagues and teammates know, that is personal. Now Anushka Sharma says, I know Virat Kohli. She knows his heart. Virat Kohli's mother says, I know my son. So when Krishna basically is not impressed with textbook familiarity. So we may know from Krishna's social media posts, like Krishna क्या है, क्या ऐसा भागवतम पढ़ लिया, याद कर लिया. So when Krishna says, one who knows me is most dear to me or delivered, he means which kind? Third, not informational, not personal, but relational. Easy to remember, na? Informational, personal, relational. So therefore, spiritual knowing means not jnana. Jnana means reading scriptures, know Krishna's name, where he was born, when he went to Mathura, Vrindavan, then when he came back, who was the first demon he killed, when he went to Sandipani Muni's ashram. तो कृष्ण का बायोडाटा अच्छे से पढ़ लिया. That is jnana, information. Vijnana is realized knowledge, means you are practicing bhakti and you are seeing something happening in your life, some experiences you are getting. That is Vijnana. But there is third, Preeti, means love, where there is a heart-to-heart connection. So if you see across the Bhagavatam, Krishna's devotees, they always emphasize the real knowing of Krishna, which is only possible through love. That's when 7.3 Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidetati siddhaye yatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha. One who knows me in truth, that person is very, very rare out of millions of people. So on the one hand, Krishna is saying, one who knows me is easily delivered, but he also says in 7.3 that to know me is out of thousands and thousands of men, the filter. Then again, out of that, so like that, finally very rare. That means that tattva, that knowing is not academic, it is relational, it is revealed by Krishna. So like that. So knowing Krishna means moving from paper से पढ़ रहे आप ये सब कर रहे वो नहीं. There has to be something personal. Personal से भी ज़्यादा prayer, a relationship. So like that, basically, Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavad Gita is not dry philosophy. It is a relationship. Many people think that, studying Bhakti Shastri, Bhagavatam, it's all, that is the end point of spiritual life. I got degree, I got initiation. No, Prabhupada so many times he says, just love Krishna, that's all. कितनी बार बोला है Prabhupada? And one place Prabhupada says in Vrindavan, 1977, before he left this world, he said, unless you love Krishna, you cannot explain Krishna properly. This is now conversation. See, there is knowledge you can get by reading and hearing classes, okay? But also you get some knowledge because of Krishna reciprocating with you. So the knowledge that a person gets because of Krishna's reciprocation, that is the knowledge that Krishna is talking about when he says, one who knows me in truth is delivered. Do you get it? So now you say, okay, now probability care. Okay, I understand. Informational. Second, relational. Informational, personal, and then relational. So you'll say, how does it, what does it take to go forward? Okay, let us now start. Bhakti is all about moving from being informational, matlab, you're coming to temple, you're a visitor to the temple. So many of us could be visitors. Some information we have. From visitor, we move to a practitioner. I see most of you are not visitors, you are practitioners. You're chanting something, you are doing something more than simply being a visitor. And then the third level where Krishna wants to come is a lover. You're not a practitioner also. So who are you? Visitor, practitioner, or lover? Let us say you are a visitor. Just give an example. So we can go forward. So from visitor to you can become a practitioner by discipline, consistency, sincere sadhana, commitment. This is how we become from visitor to practitioner. And from practitioner to lover, you become when you surrender. Okay, surrender is very vague. When you trust Krishna and you become vulnerable, you offer intense prayers and you are waiting for Krishna's grace. Basically, you are moving beyond reading to relating. You are reading, but there is something more that is happening in your life. You are living it. You are connecting. That's when Krishna reciprocates. And that reciprocation is what will help us get out of birth and death. Not our effort. It's not simply our effort. Now, there is a very, very important purport. I think I made all of you chant in many classes here. This is my favorite Prabhupada statement from Madhya Leela, 4th chapter, 137 verse, Madhavendra Puri's chapter, where Prabhupada says, you can repeat after me. I love this sentence of Prabhupada. One cannot understand Krishna simply by reading Vedic literature. Although all Vedic literature is meant for understanding Krishna, one cannot understand him without being a lover of Krishna. The Prabhupada says one cannot understand Krishna without being a lover of Krishna. So many places Prabhupada says, just love Krishna, that's all. Kitni baar bola hai Prabhupada. That's the real way we know. Like Shishupal knew everything about Krishna. But he didn't love Krishna. Pandavas loved Krishna. Pandavas also knew, but they loved. Uddhava's qualification was he loved Krishna. That's why he received Uddhav Gita. He had knowledge, but he had the third kind of knowledge. Bhishma also had all knowledge. In Anushasan Parva, he explained the way he glorifies Krishna. And there is so many things he says about. So he has knowledge. But so Pandavas, Uddhava, Bhishma, Hanuman is a classic case. Hanuman is a brilliant scholar. He knows Vedas, grammar, logic, scriptures. But his greatness is not because of his learning, but because of his deep love for Lord Ram and Sita. When Sita Devi is giving the ring to Hanuman, she is giving, so because Hanuman has to show to Lord Ram that he is a trusted messenger. So she's not impressed by his knowledge, but because of his unflinching devotion is what has touched her heart. So there is one pastime where Lord Ram asks Hanuman, how do you see me? He says, when I think I'm the body, I'm your servant. When I see myself as soul, then I'm part of you. I belong to you. But when I go beyond body and beyond the soul, I only see you. And there is no me. My means even identity is dissolved. It's the deepest form of knowing is it's only Krishna. अपने आप को पूरा ego और identity को dissolve कर दिया, which is the highest knowledge. And the greatest scholar is Prabhupada. Prabhupada, if you hear Prabhupada's classes regularly, attentively, you'll be shocked at the Prabhupada's knowledge. The way effortlessly he quotes verses, have you noticed? Effortlessly, Upanishads, Bhagavatam, Gita, and verses ठीक है. Oh, bang on, he's just, because I hear that, and then I simultaneously read the lecture also on the Vedas. Now I'm like shocked. अरे ये पॉइंट पे प्रॉपर का एग्जैक्ट मुंह से वो श्लोक का थर्ड लाइन ही कैसे आ गया? आप देखो, नोटिस करो, इट्स लाइक इट इज सुपर टैलेंट. आई मीन, and he has no notes in front of him. And that's deeply internalized knowledge. I mean, he actually has knowledge. But he transformed the world. I mean, he didn't have political power, resources, okay, he had knowledge, but he transformed the world not because of his knowledge, but because he loved Krishna. Because there are many scholars of Gita. That love empowered him to carry Krishna to the Western world. So Prahlad, Gopi, they're all classic examples. They were not scholars, they loved Krishna. So love is the highest realization. So the language that Krishna responds to is not logic, it's love. Many of us, there's so many logic we discuss in our Bhagavatam classes. So what happens when love is a language? Krishna responds to that love. And then he gives real knowledge. That knowledge which will deliver us. So you are studying, you are chanting. Please know you are doing it not to know about Krishna. You are doing it to love. Because true knowing of Krishna, so if you say, I know Krishna, that is an emotional, trust-filled living experience. I'll repeat. Knowing Krishna is an emotional, trust-filled living experience. It is not simply head. And all our happiness as devotees is based on this. Not simply attending classes, writing notes and memorizing. So ask yourself, Prabhus, where are you on this journey? Are you a visitor, practitioner, or a lover? Where am I? Visitor, practitioner, or lover? Don't have to tell me. So what is the next step? See, if you are a visitor, how will you go to practitioner? Discipline, daily commitment. Simple, discipline and daily commitment. If you are a practitioner, how will you go to lover? Trust, vulnerability, service, emotional surrender. Bhakti is a journey. Okay? So when Krishna says, one who knows me is delivered me, one who loves Krishna. Simple. So now when you are praying, don't pray for information. Don't pray for clarity, pray for affection. So bhakti is not about facts, it's about feeling. And we generally dismiss it, saying that, "Arey, kya feeling? Arey, seva karo, shastra pado, intelligent bano." Yeah. But in the kingdom of God, Guru Vrindavan, love is the only credential that matters. And loving Krishna is knowing Krishna. So it takes 1 second. Now, if you go and if you say, Krishna, I love you. Okay, or you don't even love you. No, you don't say it. You can say like this, Krishna, I don't know what it means to love you, but I want to somehow come to you. But okay, that moment where you've invested emotion in that prayer, you are delivered. But because you're alive, you're not died, you have to again offer emotion. अगर आपने इमोशंस ऑफर किया मर गए तो चला फिर आप बैक टू गॉड चले गए but if you offered but then you're still alive then tomorrow again you have to offer because mind gets contaminated if you're alive. See, it's like this temple hall. Morning I go to temple hall to chant at 4:30 because 5 o'clock Mangalarti, so they do 4:30 jadu. So much kachra. And then 9:30 I also am sometimes chanting before Mangal go Aarti. And they do jadu. Just in 5 hours, so much kachra comes. And then 4 o'clock again they do jadu. So, just by the fact the temple hall is there, have you seen copper pots? You just keep it there. Again you have to नींबू लाके फिर वो कस्तूरी लगा के वो सब लगा के इमली डाल के पानी में घिसना पड़ता है. Just by the fact that it is alive, it is existing, it gets kachra. So if you're alive, this will happen. But therefore again, so as long as you're alive, keep investing emotions, keep offering heart. So otherwise you will be in the periphery of Krishna consciousness. Right now we're in the periphery. We have to get into the heart of Krishna consciousness, which means we nurture and deepen our love. That's how we move. See, some basic steps. I'll share with you 5 steps. I don't know how much time I have. There are some 5 basic steps that if we take, then we can move from being a visitor to practitioner to lover. Okay? The first step is, I'm assuming that you are moved from visitor to a practitioner. You are having some consistent daily sadhana, daily practice. First step is Honestly, answer this question. Do I know Krishna? Do I love Krishna? Now, if you sincerely ask this question to yourself, you'll get two contradictory answers. I don't know Krishna. I could immediately see many of you are nodding at no, I don't know Krishna. That answer is very clear and loud. We don't know Krishna. But we'll also feel that yes, the fact that I'm asking this question means it's a sign of a sincere devotee. When you want to know Krishna, I don't know. Do I know Krishna? No. To ask that question intensely means you have a desire. So you will not feel depressed when you say, I don't know Krishna. So to know Krishna, if the first question is to ask constantly, do I know Krishna? So basically knowing Krishna means it's not simply to remember the names, pastimes. It's basically to feel Krishna in your breath. That is what it means to know Krishna. Krishna निकलना चाहिए. अभी हमारा नहीं है उस तरह, but at least let us know what is the standard. To feel Krishna in our breath. To feel Krishna in our choices. Like you make choices. अभी ये करना है वो करना ऐसा होता है ना. Krishna, what should I do? Krishna, okay. Thinking of Krishna and you make a choice. So feeling Krishna in your choices, in your breath, and sometimes in the silence, you are tired, you are just sitting, tired of all the work, and you're just in that silence, if you can connect with Krishna, so that means you are knowing Krishna. To feel Krishna in your breath, in your silence, in your choices you make, in your acts of surrender. And if this is the definition of knowing Krishna, then we realize I don't know Krishna. And this will keep us what? Humble. And humility is the most important criteria for developing knowledge. So first is to ask this question that do I know Krishna? I don't know. That makes us humble, but also that makes us hopeful because we are beginning to know him because there is a desire. And this desire to love Krishna, to know Krishna, if it is sustained over a period of time, then that is a manifestation that Krishna is present in your heart. Because you want to know Krishna, that is itself a sign that you know Krishna. So this is the first step. Humility and genuinely, repeatedly asking, do I love Krishna? Do I know Krishna? Second, very, very important step we need to make is have a clear framework of, like consciously move on this journey. I am a visitor, I am a practitioner. Now I want to be a lover of Krishna. From informational, I have to move to personal, to relational. So how do we move? Simple. Let us say, we need all three. We need information. We need to know about Krishna. So, jnana, informational में क्या करना है आपको? You read scriptures, you come to temple, you hear Bhagavatam classes, engage the mind. But you do all this, I'm telling you from experience, with no shame, that there is still dryness. There will be distance. Simply reading and knowing will not be sufficient. So the action we do at this level, or as you are getting information, as you are cultivating jnana, is study with the mood. Okay, you read one purport today just now. When you're reading it at home, ask, okay, how can this help me love Krishna? Ask this question. So that informational part of knowing Krishna, there are three parts to knowing Krishna: informational, personal, and transformational, relational. At least when you're connecting to the information of Krishna through scriptures, ask this question, how can this, or you can ask, what does this chapter reveal about Krishna's heart or Krishna's personality? So you'll see that you are entering the personal space. You are moving from information to personal space. Because there will be a shift that will happen inside, and you will notice that shift happening. You start feeling in Krishna consciousness. The more we focus on this mood, okay, what is Krishna trying to say? Or how can I get love for Krishna? Then you will see that you are moving from being a visitor to a practitioner. So this is the first way to do it. And then what we do? Then, Krishna becomes our God. We start praying, we start chanting, we start having discipline. But still there is some selfishness. Krishna is basically a facilitator for my life. I want my son to get a job, I want my daughter to get married, I want my EMIs to be cleared, but there is emotions for Krishna. So we may move from being a visitor to a practitioner, but practitioner is self-centered only. So therefore, at that point, cultivate gratitude and reflection constantly. Then you will, one day you will write in your journal, if you are expressing gratitude, Krishna, you have given me so much. वो निकल जाएगा. Thank you बोल बोल के एक दिन. What can I do for you? The way you say that, you have entered being a lover space. Because only a lover will want to do something for the beloved. Businessman will only want from the Lord profits. I told you, I think, once experience. I used to thank Krishna every day, gratitude journal. Five things. And I think after 3 weeks when I was writing, 25 things came. Thank you, Krishna, for the. And then the 26th thing was, what can I do for you? The moment I wrote it, I realized, wow, this is it. इतना साल लगा ये बोलने को कृष्णा को दिल से कि वो वापस भूल गया मैं माइंड ऐसा रास्कल है. So one question you can ask in journal is thanking Krishna and then naturally आ जाएगा. But उसमें टाइम लग सकता है. So what we can do to expedite the process is we can write in a journal, how is Krishna already loving me today? How did Krishna show up today? रात को आप लिखना चाहिए. Every day I'm not. If you want, I can show you on my computer. I have that file. Every night before sleeping, I enter that. कभी कभी कुछ नहीं आता. But if I take some breaks in the day, to slow down, answer आता है. How did Krishna show up today? And it's amazing. My file, I'll show you. It is called Advise, Arrange, Allow. Krishna does one of the 3 things all the time. He is advising you, he is arranging things for you, and is allowing you to do some things. So if you ask this question, you will enjoy. You will feel, अरे हाँ यार, कृष्ण तो हमेशा मेरे साथ है. So then we can move from being a practitioner to a lover. I'll give an example, simple thing. I think I said once in the train, I was in the Eurostar train. मेरा bead bag भूल गया. I was getting down and suddenly before getting down, I realized, अरे bead bag भूल गया. So I went and picked up. So it could be a coincidence. भूल गया, याद आ गया. नहीं. और जर्नल में कैसा लिखा मैंने? I forgot. So you have to see the Lord in the heart as somebody sitting next to you. So it's as if Krishna is next to me and saying, as I'm walking, Krishna is next to me. अरे प्रभु feedback भूल गए. प्रभु नहीं, Krishna said, rascal. Rascal, you forgot your feedback. Krishna will not say प्रभु. You rascal. And then, oh yes. And then I ran and picked. So you can see it as a casual remembrance and picking up the feedback. But if you have a culture of how did Krishna show up today, then you can see it as Krishna reminded me, Krishna advised me to pick up my feedback. That is one way. So arrangement also Krishna does. I'll tell you a class. I can't tell you the details of this example. See, advice we can know when you hear that voice of intuition and it is right. Then you know that Krishna is advising. Arrangement how Krishna does, you will have many examples. You are grahastha. I'll tell you my example. There is one, okay, I can't tell you the details. There's one brahmachari. There was some serious misunderstanding 3 devotees had about him. And I came to know that they are concluded like this about him. But I couldn't tell them that I know that you're concluded like this because somebody else told me. So now I have to remove the misconception that they have about him. But how do I broach the subject? Because if I tell them, then they will think, "Kaun bola tumko ye?" Then they will know that one of them has gone rogue. किसी ने तो मुझे leak किया वो information meeting का. वो meeting में discuss हुआ. I was not privy to that meeting, but I know that they got serious misconception and they don't want anybody to know that. So क्या करने का? So then I said, pray to Krishna, and then I forgot about it. I was busy with my life, and after 1 week, 2 weeks, I think one day, I think few days back, we were together, we were talking something, and suddenly some context came about some issue which was connected to that devotee. It was completely unplanned, or I didn't strategize. And वो topic आया, and then I immediately clarified. I said, "Hey, प्रभु जी, उनका ना ऐसा ऐसा quality है, उन्होंने ऐसा किया ऐसा." And they said, "Really?" And वो मेरा जो need था to communicate, it happened without they suspecting or without anybody getting. I know you are getting confused, but I can't tell you क्या करें. But you got the point. Sometimes you don't plan, but Krishna arranges things to happen so smoothly. तो वो उस दिन मेरा डायरी में चला गया. Krishna आपने ये कर दिया. So this is arrangement Krishna does. Sometimes Krishna advises. Sometimes Krishna allows. मेरा तो allow वाला केस है. I'm not supposed to eat so many things. तो अभी 3 दिन नहीं खाया, ईमानदारी से फॉलो किया, खिचड़ी खाया, सब फ्रूट्स खाया, फिर एक दिन किसी ने पिज्जा खिला दिया, नहीं खाना है, अलाउड नहीं, फ्रेंच फ्राइज नहीं खाना है, नहीं खाना, खा लेते हैं, और देखा अगले दिन अरे बैक में पेन नहीं है, सब ठीक है। तो तुरंत मेरा बॉडी रिएक्ट करता है, अरे आई कुड चैंट नाइसली, हाउ कुड आई चैंट, I did something wrong, I'm not supposed to do. Krishna, immediately, thank you Krishna, you allowed me, to enjoy. So if you're enjoying sense gratification, you can thank Krishna for allowing you, but it's not good to enjoy sense gratification. But I'm just saying, when I eat forbidden food and don't get reaction, I feel Krishna has allowed me. When I want something to happen and it happens in a beautiful way, Krishna has arranged. When I immediately remember something that I had forgotten and I get help from, it's Krishna's advised. But let us say you're in the practitioner stage and been for a long time, you are sincerely chanting, you are doing everything, you are ticking all the boxes, and now you want to go to the third phase. You want to enter the stage of prema, preeti, from jnana, vijnana, from information to personal to relational. You want to feel a relationship with Krishna. Please know this will only happen when you start with gratitude practices, when you start meditating, slowly move beyond self. Then let us say, no, Prabhuji, it's a gratitude, it's a ठीक है, it's all self-centered only. I want to go directly to the stage of relationship with Krishna. I want to love Krishna. But I'm tired of being in this practitioner phase. Okay, जाना है third phase में, then just simple, some questions you ask. At one magic question, if you ask, you'll enter the third phase immediately. What does Krishna want from me? We don't ask this question because we are scared we won't get the answer. So we don't want to live with, we always like clarity. Because some questions will not give clarity, so we don't ask those questions. But yeah, you will not get clarity, but you should ask this question. What is the question? What does Krishna want? What is Krishna feeling? What does he want? That's when we start feeling longing for Krishna. Right now, we know what I want. And we want Krishna to please me. We don't say that. But when I start saying, what does Krishna want? Then my actions become to please Krishna. See, right now our actions are for what? To purify myself. So action for purification and action for pleasing Krishna are two different things. You will say, yes, for purifying, then Krishna will be pleased. That's indirect later. But we can meditate on those pastimes that devotees are pleasing Krishna, like gopis, Krishna's covered boyfriends. So this is the second step. First step is what? There are 5 steps I wanted to share. What is the first step? Humility. By asking a painful question, do I actually know Krishna? And the answer will humble us, and that humility will help us know Krishna. That is first step. What is the second step? Make a clear framework. How do we move from a visitor to practitioner and practitioner to lover? So I have ask the right kind of questions, answer them. That thing. Third step is that's all part of the second step. That's all part of the second step. Yeah, because that's part of the framework. That's part of the plan of moving. Those are part of second step only. Everything is part of second step. Third अभी मैंने बोला नहीं, अभी मैं शुरू करने वाला. Third step अभी आ रहा हूँ मैं. Whatever I've spoken till now is the first 2 steps. ठीक है? Because that's part of the journey, na? That's part of the plan. कि what all we could do. ये सब आ गया उसमें. The third step is coming back to Krishna or calling Krishna. This is the most practical. Like you call your friend, you call your partner. Huh? वो दूर में पहुंच गए. This is very, very practical. Like a lover is calling from a distance. It's very poetic and potent. Like, okay, in a social setting, conversations, during mundane talks, if you just internally pause and offer a brief Hare Krishna or Krishna, please help me, or silently breathing, and also as you breathe, you say Hare Krishna, Krishna, please help me. I'm in this group. Everybody is doing Prajalpa. I can't move out. Please help me, Krishna. ये बोल दिया आपने in a thought form, because speech has sound. Thoughts also has sound. It is not manifest externally. So when we pray like this, means when we offer thoughts, When we're alone or when we're in a group, in a conversation, when we are doing that, we are actually making a call to Krishna. So these are like mini return trips. You are gone away, you come back to Krishna, then again you will go away somewhere, again come back. So throughout the day, if we have mini return trips to Krishna, we will be, this will stitch the thread. This will help us thread the life of belonging to belongingness to Krishna जो है वो उसका पूरा धागा वो बन जाएगा garland. When we keep coming back, keep coming back. Because when we keep coming back, we are connecting to Paramatma. Because you are praying ना, अब किसको pray कर रहे हैं? सामने अब अंदर बोल रहे हो, अंदर कौन है? परमात्मा है ना. The Paramatma factor is one of the most misunderstood in ISKCON. We quote that Sheta Shatra famous verse 3.4 Prabhupada quotes and 1.2.1 Mundaka Upanishad. Very famous verse. और 2-3 जगह पे आता है उपनिषद में. समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नो. सुना? Nishaya shochati muyamana. There are the 2 birds on the branch of the tree. One is the Mundaka Upanishad and the other bird is the Paramatma who is witnessing, who is observing. So we think this understanding is very important. But we think Paramatma is a witness. No, Paramatma is a silent lover in the heart. He is not simply witnessing. You can start talking to the Lord in the heart regularly as if he's sitting beside you. So, Krishna, what do you want from me? Krishna, how can I please you? You can also ask for what you want. Krishna, please remove this enjoying tendency from my heart. I don't want to enjoy in this situation. I want to serve. How can I serve you? When we offer this prayer, that connection to Paramatma is the doorway to both personal bhakti and the relational bhakti. I'm talking about 3: informational, personal, and relational. So he is the link between the mind and Krishna. See, our mind world, our world is a mind world. Mind, intelligence, ego, सब एक ही है. That world. And there's Krishna's world. Lover lives in Krishna's world. We are always living in my world. So we cannot move from the practitioner to the lover level. So see, okay, there are two movements, okay, from informational to personal, and there is from personal to relational. So informational level से personal level पे कैसे जाते हैं हम लोग? When you start praying to the Lord like this, please listen to this. See, you are a visitor. You want to become a practitioner. You become a good practitioner and not a visitor when you start praying like, Krishna, please help me get a good job. Krishna, please help me in this interview. Please, Krishna, help me get a good husband, wife, whatever. Please help me. So when you pray like this, you are actually connecting with Krishna and you are moving beyond information of Krishna to a personal relationship with Krishna. It is selfish, no doubt. But it is a good space to begin because you are treating Krishna like a person. You are coming to him. So this is building emotional presence in your life. And Krishna becomes real. So please do this. Like I gave the example of Virat Kohli. You read about him. So okay, then you're texting him, you're messaging him. And sometimes you feel you get a reply also. Alright. So Krishna is reciprocating, you get some job you want, then you are getting convinced, अरे हाँ यार, ये काम करता है, Krishna. So there's a personal space. So chanting, discipline, sincerity, this is happening. Now, let us say you are already moved from informational to personal space. Now you want to enter the third space, which is relational space. So what we do that time is, we approach the same Paramatma in the heart, same thing, but the praying changes. Krishna, how can I serve you? Krishna, how can I please you? Krishna, what do you really want from me? I'm now getting old. Krishna, please guide me. How can I please your devotees? There are so many devotees here. So what is happening when we start making these prayers? We are moved from our mental world to Krishna. Okay, since it is 8:15, but I'm thinking since it's the last class and I'm traveling for the next 2 months, I'll just take a few more minutes. So what has happened? We see till now we were praying, but we were also in our own world. How can I serve you, Krishna, now? This is a magic key. This is the way because service and coming to Krishna changes everything. Because service is what transforms knowledge into belonging. See, we belong to Krishna. That belongingness, that love comes when we start serving, when we start looking at Krishna's interest. What can I do for you today, Krishna? Small thing, cook something for Krishna and offer it or write a letter to Krishna. This is also moving. You are making a movement. Or offer a flower, like Govindam Adi Purusham, we offer in the morning. Krishna, this is for you. Say this. Krishna, this is for you. Many devotees say, Prabhuji, I find, because we have heard so many times, offer everything to Krishna. We say, devotees say, Prabhuji, how do we offer? Like, I give a simple example. Today we had 2 hours of, we have monthly Ishtagoshti. Ishtagoshti means monthly Sadhu Samagam. We are meeting where we discuss management, construction, and also birthdays of the brahmacharis. So 2 hours chalta hai. So I was sitting in a meeting. Now, Krishna, this is I offer this meeting to. What does it mean? You can't offer. नहीं लिखा है ना. So I have a small notebook and a pen, which generally I carry with me when I don't have a computer. So it can't connect. How is attending a meeting and offering to Krishna? So because we can't think of an answer, we immediately avoid offering also. So just take out a small. So I wrote in that paper, Brahmachari meeting. Okay, and then one sentence you write why this is an offering to Krishna or how this is an offering to Krishna. Because all these sadhus are dear to you, my dear Lord, and if I get their shelter, then I'm coming closer to you. So please accept this offering. हो गया एक सेकंड मीटिंग चल रहा है डिस्कशन चल रहा है ऐसा लिख दिया बस हो गया वो 1 मिनट के लिए तो इमोशंस आया so you are moving forward. Otherwise, see, once we do these 3 things now, then we are well situated in Krishna consciousness. Like, when we start offering prayer, what can I do for you, Krishna? Like that, when we start doing these things. So the essence of these 3 steps that I spoke, the first one was humility. Second one was making a proper roadmap, gratitude, and all that, all the things, asking questions. And third is coming back. Coming back is very important. So essence of these 3 steps is spend quality time with Krishna. Then we can move. Because in any relationship, proximity builds intimacy. If you're constantly associating with someone, you will become intimate with that person. Isn't it? Same thing. So sit with your japa. Don't rush. Chant with feeling. Or read pastimes. Generally, we read pastimes to learn about Krishna. But I've seen Maharaj was once saying in class. So we chant Hare Krishna. Why? So I was thinking, so that I get purified. Maharaj is saying, we chant Hare Krishna because Krishna is so beautiful and lovable. You see, कितना बड़ा difference है? A lover or practitioner में. Then Maharaj said, why do we read Bhagavatam? I was thinking so that I understand and then I can make notes and I can speak in my class. Maharaj said, we read Bhagavatam because we get to associate with Krishna. See the difference between a practitioner and a lover? So like that, Maharaj asked 10 questions. And my answer सुन रहा हूँ they तो अलग ही answer दे रहे. So we read pastimes not to learn, but to connect with Krishna. What does this tell me about Krishna's personality? So scriptures, we have to transform Bhagavatam to a conversation, not just content. We have to connect it with Krishna. But the mind is still arise. So therefore, there is a 4th step also. 4th step is having the right kind of internal dialogue or affirmations. So step 4 is called affirmations. Affirmations means positive statements in the inner world and asking the right kind of questions constantly. Like one amazing affirmations which is very helpful. Just 5 words you can ask. Whom do I belong to? Who do I belong to? Just a question पूछो कभी अपने. So when you are miserable or you're in doubt or you're confused, just ask this question. Whom do I belong to? See, this is a central, the identity crisis of all of us is like, I belong to Maya or I belong to Krishna. ये आपको clarity, हमेशा बदलता रहेगा answer. It will not be the same answer all the time. Belonging, we actually belong to Krishna, but you may not like it, but we actually belong to Maya. Belonging is not simply a feeling. Belonging, na? Who do I belong to? The answer will come as Maya. That answer comes not because you're feeling. The answer comes because of the decisions that you take again and again. See, you may not say, nobody will say loudly. But when you're making a choice, let's say you have 8 rounds left. and there's some news, important news आ गया, अभी आईपीएल चल रहा है, आईपीएल का न्यूज, तो यू आर टेम्पटेड, माला साइड में रख दिया, आईपीएल देख लिया, so you made a choice. So you may not say it out loud, but when you make this choice, you are saying, I belong to Maya. But when you leave it and then you pick up the feedback, you are saying it out, I belong to Krishna. So each time you choose surrender over selfishness, you are saying, Krishna, I belong to you. Like when you accept Krishna's plan, although you're going through pain, then you're saying, Krishna, I trust you. You will not say it out, but you're saying, Krishna, I trust you. Or when you, let's say, when you don't understand something, but devotee is telling you, but you say, no, I will do this. Prabhuji bol rahe na, to kar dete. So you're following. So when you're saying that, when you're doing that, what you're saying, although you don't say, is Krishna, I love you. I trust you. I belong to you. So we are saying it subconsciously anyway. So the fourth step I am proposing is, let us say it consciously, clearly and loudly, either through writing or in thought form. Madhyamava, which I always speak about, is Krishna, I belong to you. So you are saying, I don't belong to Maya. And then that will help us make the right choices. See, when you are making choices, you are anyway saying, I belong to Krishna. So I am saying, you say, I belong to Krishna. That will also help you make right choices. Ulta kar raha hu. See, I make a wrong choice. And it seems I belong to Maya. But now I'm saying, Krishna, I'm sorry, I want to belong to you. So this affirmations resets the brain and the heart, and it helps us come back to Krishna. So these four steps are most important because we are trying to have a deep relationship with Krishna. See, I don't think any of us here wants to be, we spoke about Virat Kohli example, mein baar baar wahi aa raha hai. See, we don't want to be a fan of Krishna. Like we may be a fan of Virat Kohli. See, we don't want to be a fan, we want to be a lover of Krishna. We don't want to be somebody who's like, wow, okay, it's a, we just don't want to know about Krishna. We want to have a relationship. See, we don't want to know Krishna like, through social media. But we want to know Krishna like Anushka Sharma knows Virat Kohli. That's the point I'm saying. Because the difference between knowing about someone, there's a difference knowing about someone and being known by him. There's a difference, no? So when Anushka Sharma, she sees Virat Kohli, her seeing him is unfiltered. She sees his vulnerability. She sees his joy, his weakness, his mood. Similarly, when I say I want to know Krishna, I want to know Krishna's mood, Krishna's rasas, Krishna's see, not just Krishna's majesty or not the instruction that I read in the Bhagavad Gita. So, and this comes through vichar, through naam, through seva, through association, through the wiring, our brain में wiring change करना पड़ेगा इसकी. So therefore, this is how it works. So informational से personal से relational. The main thing is, see, let's say you are informational focused. What you will be thinking? Always, what can I get from this? What can I get from this? ये हमारा mood रहेगा. मेरे को क्या मिल रहा है? What can I? But if you're in the personal space, you will be like, how can I progress in bhakti? How can I purify my heart? How can Krishna help me get a better job? How can I improve my chanting? Basically, ultimately, it's all about myself only. But it is better than the first. It's not about how I can enjoy or what's for me. But relational is, what can I give to Krishna? So अभी 24 hours हम नहीं कर सकते. What can I give to Krishna? At least I'm saying today, let us थोड़ा सा दिन में एक बार किया, चलो 2 दिन में एक बार किया, चलो हफ्ते में एक बार तो कर सकते. There's progression, right? So that's why I'm saying affirmations. So another one powerful affirmation is, I belong to Krishna, which I said. Another powerful affirmation is, Krishna, let me receive your love. This is actually the most vulnerable and the most powerful prayer. Let me receive your love. Because you're not demanding love, you're just opening yourself to receive. Because Krishna's love is always there. See, we say that Krishna is more eager to love us than we are. Krishna is more eager to take us back to God. कितनी बार बोला है हमने. तो अभी उसको experience करना है. We are not able to experience because there is a block. What is the block? The false ego. So when you are praying like this, Krishna, let me receive your love, you are melting that false ego because you are removing the block. So that means basically you are shifting from using Krishna to offering to Krishna. Krishna, let me receive your love. So I'm saying, let us flip the prayer. See, what is the prayer right now? Krishna, please let me get this. Krishna, please let me achieve Shuddha Bhakti. ये सब हमारा वो रहता है ना. This is so I'm saying flip it. Krishna, how can I serve you today? How can I please you today? So this is what will melt the ego. This is what will invite Krishna into the heart. See, right now we are inviting Krishna into our heart as an assistant for us. But I'm saying let us invite Krishna as a beloved. Not somebody who will assist me in my vision. I have a project. So practical suggestion means I spoke about coming back. That's all part of it. Like many prayers, you could always say as you're breathing, or as like Krishna, I belong to you, or a journal. Could start a love journal, asking how 3 ways Krishna showed up today, or Krishna gave me love today, or like that. So many things you could do. So for more details, you can read 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text number 29 to 34. Krishna speaks. इतना आपको love feeling होगा उसमें. If I tell you now, the suspense will be broken. 9.29 to 34 is the most hope-giving section. Where Krishna says, अरे आप कोई भी हो, कितना भी गड़बड़ किया, क्या कांड किया, सब किया, I still love you. Krishna openly बोल रहे हैं section में. And first he begins by saying, I'm neutral to everyone. और कोई ऐसा favorite नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. But then he begins, and then as he advances, he says, but मेरा devotee के प्रति थोड़ा soft corner है. And then to the extent he says, सबसे बड़ा गड़बड़ भी किया तो I love him. 9.34. 29 से शुरू करो, फिर 34 में. See, many people teach affirmations, like, I chant attentively now. I listen to the holy name. सब अच्छा है affirmation, but I'm saying I belong to Krishna. ये वाला affirmation is different because this is a cry of a sincere soul who is on the edge of awakening. It is not simply an intellectual statement. It's a spiritual milestone, if we can say this. I belong to Krishna. So I want to briefly also share with you. I've shared all the 5 now. ठीक है. What does it, because it's important to समझना, what does it mean to say, I belong to Krishna? बोलते हैं ना, it basically means my identity is rooted in being a servant. That is what it means when I say I belong. So I am Krishna's servant. And also that means when I belong to Krishna means my feeling of safety. We all want to feel safe, right? थोड़ा डर लगता है ना हमेशा. मेरे को तो है बाबा, दिल में थोड़ा डर लगता है कभी-कभी. उससे एक डर लगता है. But suddenly you feel safe. If you feel safe when you are chanting or Krishna, remembering Krishna, that sense of safety and shelter, that means you belong to Krishna. And what is your joy? Where do you feel joy? Is it like Madhavendra Puri's section? You know that famous Govardhan Puja I did? Gopalji installation. So every day was Annakut. And Madhavendra Puri would orchestrate, manage the whole event. And what was his happiness? रात को सोने के पहले थोड़ा you take little milk. He was happy seeing devotees are happy. So when our joy is in Krishna's happiness and others' happiness, then we are entering that space of belongingness to Krishna. So right now, if our choices are guided by impulse, then we are not belonging to Krishna. When our choices are guided by Krishna's happiness, Jivera Sarupa Krishna Nityadas. So this is not theoretical belongingness, it's felt, it's embodied, it's acted upon in real moments of life. So next time when you are tempted, when you are afraid, when you are praised, when you are alone, if you can say, Krishna, I belong to you, I belong to Krishna. That is the meaning of, that is what I meant by saying, I belong to Krishna. And there are also some small tests by which you can know whether you belong to Maya or whether you belong to Krishna. So if you are like in the space of I belong to Maya, then your feelings will be like, your emotions will rise and fall. You'll feel anxious, lonely, insufficient unless you achieve something or you control something. That means you are in the space of belonging to Maya. Or you are seeking validation. You are not seeking reciprocation from Krishna, but you are seeking some confirmation. That means I belong to Maya. Even bhakti is performative, mechanical. And you act as if this world is your home. This is my home. And Krishna is a guest. Come. That is, I belong to Maya wala space. See, because Maya ka sabse bada Maya ka power hai, Maya makes you believe that you are the center. You are the center of this creation. But Krishna changes the whole thing. Krishna consciousness makes you see Krishna is the center. So, and are you safe in that with Krishna being the center? That means you belong to Krishna. So like that, these are some of the tests we could do. And if you say, Prabhu, ye sab samajh gaya, but I think I belong to Maya more. That is because Maya is immediate. because Maya is what we see, touch, taste, all our senses and mind, because we are tuned into Maya's channel since many lifetimes. So don't be harsh on yourself. So coming to Krishna, belonging to Krishna means you should focus more on faith than what you see and what you feel. Generally, we believe in जो आपको experience होता है उसके ऊपर हमारा विश्वास होता है. So to belong to Krishna, get to focus more on faith. Also more on, not on control, but on surrender. And instant gratification, nahi, patience. See, these are the things, not then. So, like that. So, this is the secret. The more we call Krishna, the more we come back to Krishna. See, the more we make these choices, now, you know what will happen? The senses and mind will also cooperate. You will see that the mind will start responding to Krishna more than Maya. So actually, we already belong to Krishna, right? We will discuss it. We don't belong to Maya, but we'll start now awakening to the fact that I belong to Krishna. I want to live in that space of Krishna. And this is the beginning of intimacy with Krishna. So right now, we may not be intimate with Krishna, like the gopis, it's okay. But there is a belongingness. So I want to leave you with one meditation. So this is a nice meditation. Krishna, I have wandered for so long. I've been seeking shelter in all the wrong places. But today, now I come back to you. Not to ask, but to belong. Let me feel that I am yours. Let me live in that truth. I don't want to perform devotion. I want to live devotion because I am yours. So I've also written a long poem which I will bypass from some other day. But step 5, बाकी है, खत्म करना है मुझे class. Step 5. So what is the first step? Humility. Do I really know Krishna? What is the second step? Roadmap. That there is gratitude. There is many things. Third, coming back. And fourth, 2 important affirmations. I belong to Krishna and I want to receive Krishna's love. And step 5 is association. Association of those devotees who belong to Krishna. Because love is contagious. See, if you spend time with Krishna's lovers, that will help you recalibrate your belonging also. So what that means is, listen to devotees who speak not just information of Krishna, but listen to those devotees who speak with affection for Krishna. You know, Prabhupada ka lecture suno, aapke Guru Maharaj ka respective. And if you get association with them, that's great. You can ask them to share their feelings of Krishna or how they remember Krishna. So if we do these 5 things, then your bhakti would move from informational to personal to relational. So you will, and how does this relational bhakti look like? How can you know that you are in a relationship with Krishna when you realize a few things? So first thing is you will realize a few things. First, you will realize that Krishna wants nothing from you except your heart. Right now, many of us are thinking, oh, Krishna wants me to raise funds. Krishna wants me to do that. But then you start realizing 9.26 Gita. What is that? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Kya bhaktya? Kitni baar aata hai usme? Bhaktya. Tadeva bhaktya upartam. So Krishna is not asking for perfection. This is the first realization you will get if you have a relationship with Krishna. No, Krishna is not asking what you are giving. Krishna is asking, will you offer me with love? I think last time I spoke here about that wilted flower. Well, I spoke it here, right? That Sri Lanka में वो लड़का यात्रा में ABC में बोला था मैंने, किधर तो बोला, अभी मैं भूल गया, मैं ABC XYZ कहाँ, यहाँ पे भी बोला होगा, मैं सब जगह वो लंदन में सब जगह वो भूल गया मैं किधर क्या बोल रहा हूँ. The point is, see, Krishna is already loving us. Krishna just wants our love in return. So if we are in the relationship space with Krishna, we will realize that, oh, Krishna doesn't want anything from me. Krishna just wants my heart. That is first thing we'll realize. And second, Krishna wants us to surrender to him. Not surrender as a sense of defeat. In this world, when you hear the word surrender, defeat. No, surrender is intimacy. There's a difference between surrender as a defeat. In this world, it's defeat. But with relation to Krishna, when we say surrender, it is intimacy. It's shelter. Shelter, intimacy. That I belong to Krishna. Sarvadharman Parityajya means basically when Krishna says surrender, Krishna is saying, trust me, even when it is difficult. That is what Krishna is saying. Oh, in other words. When Krishna says surrender, Sarvadharman Pradesha, Krishna is saying, don't hide from me, come back and report to me. We hide, we don't come back to Krishna. When Krishna says surrender, he's saying, let me be your protector, let me be your guide. So surrender is not giving up. We think surrender to sab chodna padega Krishna ke liye. No. Surrender means give up the egoic control that I am. It's about belonging to Krishna. Krishna ko charge de rahe hain hum apne life. So this is the second thing. What is the first thing? How does relational bhakti look like? First is what? Only two things I shared. Krishna doesn't. You'll realize what will you realize? Krishna wants something. Heart. Krishna wants that. Second, Krishna wants your surrender. Not as a defeat, but as intimacy. And third, Krishna, you will see, relational bhakti looks like this. Krishna wants to reciprocate with you. E yatamam prapadyante. Krishna wants to reciprocate. Krishna wants you to be happy in him, with him. Krishna doesn't want us to suffer. People think, oh, Kunti Maharaj is asking for suffering. Krishna wants us to be happy, but he knows that real happiness is in Krishna, not in Maya. So he gently pulls us away, even when it is hurting. So many of you may go through a lot of hurt, pain, all that is happening so that Krishna wants you to feel loved by him. That's why he said, Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. He wants to experience peace, love, joy, but from real connection with Krishna, not with this material world. And Krishna, most important thing, Krishna wants you to help others come back to him. This is very, very important. Chaitanya Charitamrita is all about that. So these are the few things you will realize when you are in relationship bhakti. Not personal, not information. You will want to give others Krishna. Because Krishna wants to work through you. Krishna wants to use us as an instrument. Krishna wants to use your voice, your kindness, your presence to bring others to him. So Krishna will tell you a few things. Krishna may be right now whispering, you may not be hearing. Krishna may be telling you, Prabhu, Mataji, please let go your fear. You're not, devotees keep saying, I'm not good enough, I'm bad. Krishna is telling you, just give up this fear of not being good enough, just become mine. Mere ho jao, Bhagavan bol rahe. And some of you are waiting for perfection to offer Krishna. If you're cooking for Krishna, it has to be pakka cooking. You can't do this masala ulta pula nahi dal sakte. अच्छा सा cooking के बाद dressing भी अच्छा करते हैं इसको. But in the inner world, Krishna is not waiting for you to offer best. अभी जो है वो offer करो. हमारा problem is living in the external world where everything has to be beautiful, perfect. Temple का construction अच्छा होना चाहिए. External world, everything has to be proper before you offer Krishna. But internal world, Krishna is saying, come on, yaar, जो है offer करो. Don't wait for perfection. Come to me now. Krishna is saying, talk to me more. Krishna is whispering to you right now that he's missing you. Anyway, so, and some of you may be thinking, have you heard Krishna's voice? Is a WhatsApp my voice note? Voice? Okay. If you are thinking Krishna का voice कैसा है? Our nectar of devotion reveals Krishna's voice, Krishna's navel, and Krishna's intelligence is very deep. तो कृष्ण का voice बहुत deep है. तो कैसे सुनाई देता है प्रभु जी? कोई recording है क्या? Okay. So let us do this. You ask sincerely, Krishna, I belong to you. You say this, Krishna, I belong to you. Krishna, I want to serve you, or how can I serve you today? Or let me receive your love. When we make these kind of prayers, then you wait. Then you listen. Not with your ears, but your heart and conscience, then you'll get some answers. How? Suddenly, some words from the Bhagavatam or some words from the Gita will suddenly move you. That means Krishna is speaking. Or suddenly you're chanting japa and suddenly you get some realization. That is Krishna speaking. Or some devotee comes and says some words. Prabhu, I really get inspired. Some kind words. Some devotee comes and says something to you. Krishna has spoken through that devotee. Or suddenly you feel a sense of peace. You feel that, okay, abhi mar gaya to chalega, ready. It's certain kind of, that means Krishna has spoken to you. So, Krishna speaks, but his voice is different. it comes through Bhagavatam verse, it comes through, you're taking darshan of the deities and suddenly you feel, bas, I've ended, my journey khatam ho gaya, destination pahunch gaya. So these are all some of the ways we can feel Krishna's presence in our life. So I don't know how to summarize because I went here and there, bahut kuch ho gaya. But you got the message, right? So the main essence of today's class was from knowing Krishna to belonging to Krishna. The journey from basically practicing bhakti to having intimacy with Krishna. Basically, whether you want to be a practitioner or lover, basically it is discovering your place in Krishna's heart. So I want you to move from, all of you to move from duty-based bhakti to devotion-based. The shift has to happen. The spiritual life has to become personal. It has to become relationship-centric. So I request you, please keep asking this question. Who do you belong to? Krishna or Maya? Is Krishna just an idea for you? Or is Krishna your beloved? That is living in love. Otherwise, we are simply practicing bhakti yoga. So we are chanting. So we want to move from chanting to calling Krishna. We don't want to just chant. We want to call Krishna. We want to make Krishna personal. We don't want to just become a lover, a devotee or a practitioner. We want to become a lover of Krishna. So this is my request. And I'm sorry, I just thought it's the last class and I'm gone for 2 months. So that's I thought, थोड़ा आज बोल देते जो बोलना है. कयामत का दिन है आज. Sorry if I was I went way beyond my time. But thank you. It's 8:40. I'll stop it. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, online devotees, for attending the class. I was about to say thank you, keeping muted. Thank you. Hare Krishna.